Long ago, in a big city which had some nice comfortable buildings, a student lived. He lived at the top of a building which was used to dump rubbish. Only the poor and poor students lived there. The landlord of this building was a little businessman. He lived with a little ghost on the first floor. On Christmas Eve, the little ghost would get porridge with a little butter. The little ghost felt the little businessman was a good man, so he favored his landlord. One night, the poor student went downstairs to buy a candle and some cheese. He paid the money and took it. Then he saw that the cheese was wrapped in a piece of paper torn from a poetry book. He said,
"What a shame to wrap goods in poetry. It is wrong."
The little businessman said,
"Oh, it is not. I exchanged it with an old woman for coffee beans. If you like it, you can give me £3 and get the rest of it."
The poor student said,
"Thanks. I don't want the cheese. You give me the book. Although you are clever, you don't appreciate poetry at all."
The little businessman and his wife laughed at him and said,
"Although you appreciate a few poems, you still stay in a shabby attic."
Hearing this, the poor student also smiled and went upstairs with the shabby poetry collection. However, nearby the little ghost felt angry. He thought the poor student had no manners. To dare to deride his master's ignorance of poetry, so he decided to ask the big clothes wash tub what poetry meant. Hearing what the wise wash tub said, he still could not understand, so he decided to go and see for himself what the poor student was doing. The little ghost stood outside of the poor student's door and peeked through the keyhole. He saw the poor student reading the shabby poem collection from the shop. The room had a candle, which shone like a little sun. Suddenly the poem collection gave off a beam of light, which became a big tree with flowers. Each flower was like a beautiful girl. Whose eyes were like the twinkling stars. Also, beautiful music was playing. The little ghost had never seen such a beautiful sight or heard such nice music, and he never thought he would see such things in the world. He said,
"I want to stay with him."
The little ghost thought it over, sighed and said,
"Although it all is so good, the poor student can't give me the porridge and butter to eat."
From then on, whenever he saw the light from the attic, the little ghost climbed up and watched through the skylight. He thought that this time was the happiest time of his life. Christmas was coming. The little businessman gave the little ghost porridge and butter. The little ghost felt he couldn't leave the landlord who was its real master. The poor student couldn't give him those things. One night the building caught fire. The little businessman and his wife escaped with their valuables. The little ghost hurried to the poor student's room. Finding the book, he picked it up and put it into his own red cap, and then took it away from the building. Apparently the little ghost really liked the poem collection. After the fire, Little Ghost thought carefully and said,
I cannot leave the little businessman for the sake of the porridge and butter. Now I have to divide myself into two, one for the businessman, the other for the poems, so I can enjoy the good food and the wonderful miraculous poems.